Thank you. We can spend 5 more minutes on any questions if you want to ask any of the panel speakers. If you have any questions. Yes, sir. Can you give the mic?
Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity. My respect for Dr. Meghanathan has gone up by several notches. I was not knowing his part being played as part of TAPAMS. This is news to me. I have heard of TAPAMS. I was not knowing their objectives and what is their business and all. Amazing. Thank you very much for having invited me.
Thank you, sir.
And I have only two questions. One is about the turnaround. I was quite impressed. There are 20% of the industries, particularly in Tamil Nadu and southern states, I can say Andhra and even Hyderabad and Bangalore. How do you proceed? I got a lot of clientele who are suffering from this disease. How do they approach you? And what is the timeline? Because various types of industries are there. Steel is there, paper is there, cement is there. Do you have expertise in all the industries in terms of turning around? I'm very keen on that. Number one, how do they approach you? What is the timeline? And what is the other? What are the other terms and conditions? Number one. Number two, you remember the NPA, non-performing assets, is the order of the day.
Correct.
Normally I don't blame the bank. I blame the bankers because they do not follow the principles and guidelines imposed by RBI. A lot of political intervention is there. Therefore, they give away the loans. Particularly whether the fellows, they deserve it or not, whether they are qualified to accept this kind of loans or not, they give away. That is why it is becoming non-performing assets. We are losing. The bankers have lost sufficient money. To arrest that, do you have any other proposal? Okay. Do you have any proposal? I can take you to various banks where they got through the banks. You can go to the industries also.
Fine, sir.
So I want you to kindly respond to these.
I'll do that.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, sir. Thanks for the question. First of all, many of you may not know him. He is Mr. Auditor Jaybala Balasubramanian. He has been given Kalaimamani Award by Tamil Nadu government this year for his wonderful service he does to the community. Thanks for your presence, sir. So the first question, turnaround, the concept is applicable to all industries, sir. And I would say the concept what we have, the 7M methodology what we have, is 100% or maybe more than 100% applicable to any manufacturing industries, any product manufacturing industries, let it be discrete manufacturing, continuous manufacturing or project manufacturing. Any manufacturing industries, we are perfectly okay. For a service industry or for a trading industry, our concepts will be suitable 70%. Remaining 30% we have to customize. Okay. So that depends on the company, we do it. So the first thing is, many companies approach us, knowing about us, and we also find out which are the companies in trouble and we also talk to them. The first step is to do a dipstick study. We go and understand, we do a 3-4 day study with their financials. It all starts with P&L. Ultimately, your bottom line matters. I don't need to tell you. Okay. So we do a detailed analysis of that and find out, and we have made our own standards of, like for example, what should be the variable cost, what should be the material cost, what should be the consumable cost, what should be a labor cost, like that. We have defined our own standards industry-wise. So if it is a fabrication company, what it should be. If it's a pharma company, what it should be. Based on our experience, we created our own standard. We first measure it against that. So you can quickly identify what are the big ticket items you need to work on. Okay. The loss making happens because of only two reasons. One is your expenses are out of proportion, or you invested out of proportion. 90% of the companies become, let's say, loss making only because of wrong investments, where they are not able to service their finance. So that is why, we always say, I tell a principle called sugarcane principle. If you go on the roadside, if you see the person who is making sugarcane juice, He will first put it in the V groove, then he will put it in the flat, then he will tighten it, he will fold the sugar cane, he will fold it again, he will twist it. He will take the last drop out of it before taking the next cane. So that is how investment is supposed to be done. If you remember when I was explaining in the first session, we have helped a company to become 200 crores to 1,000 crores. This 800 crores increase we invested was only 20 crores. So it's not that with the 20 crores you can get a business of 800 crores. The point is we de-risk those investment by MMP kind of concept where we also asked some of the vendors to bring their machine and put in our place and supply. So those kind of concepts we work. So we always look at how to have this kind of very, very famous quote of Kaushik, shared resources. So you first find out where the big ticket items, where there's a leakage or there's a loss. First we start working on that. Another big problem in loss-making companies is they come to a consultant only after committing all mistakes and after exhausting all the options. So you go to a place where things are so negative. Everyone is given up. Every supplier wants to run away. The customer wants to eliminate you. All government authorities are upset with you. That's the time you get in. So you need to find out who is a real performer and see to that the management identifies them and utilize them. Most of the cases, the company is getting into trouble because you don't identify the right performer. I'm sure you handle many companies. If you see somebody is thrown out or somebody leaves the company out of politics, for example, only a good performer only goes out. Okay. So we look at those leakages, those big ticket items and see who are the right people to be nurtured and do that. This is our approach. The second question, what you asked, can you just say once again, sir, the second question?
Non-performing assets.
Okay.
But only banks suffer because of fictitious sanctions.
Correct.
Unauthorized or unauthorized.
True.
And they land in trouble. They may not be able to recover the money. Ultimately, they have to write off. The fellow will start ask money for cement industry. He will start his construction of his own buildings.
He will buy land. That's a typical.
All that it happens.
Correct.
How can you play any role in that?
Yeah. Okay. Sir, one is if the company is ready to correct their mistakes, we can correct them. Okay. What normally most of the, let's say, medium and small scale industries or upper large scale industries, still driven by the family owned companies, they believe, putting money in land is a better option than, running the business. Okay. Then they should actually get into real estate business. They should not be in the other business. So then, we can actually find out where the money has gone, how these assets have come in. So we insist them to sell off some of those, those items to bring into business. One. As far as NPA is concerned, or in our advisor Sriram's language, stressed assets, what we call it. Okay. Normally, if you look at, let's say, if a factory assets and the business is worth, let's say, 500 crores. Okay. And they have taken a loan of 300 crores, for example. And they are not able to service that because of, there is no profit. So we can identify people. That is why the new division is started. We can identify people who will probably able to give the 300 crores because by giving 300 crores, the company becomes from NPA, it becomes an acceptable asset. But the person gives 300 crores, but he gets an asset worth 500 crores. So there are, high net worth people are there who are ready to invest such kind of thing. So in such cases, if we feel it is repairable or if it is recoverable, then such kind of options are available. So that is the only way to handle it in case of NPS.
For the benefit of TAPAMS, I want to introduce myself. I am Jaybala, chartered accountant and a lawyer qualified.
Yes, sir.
I was on the board of Dena Bank as nominee of central government, audit committee chairman for 3 years. Now I am on the board of Canara Robeco Mutual Fund. I am the chairman of the trust board, appointed by SEBI and the nominee of Canara Bank in the last 3 years. I am also on the board of other companies and limited companies and so on. In fact, this company, and I am also very close to Gupta, who is the MSME Association President in Delhi.
Okay.
He is a very close friend of mine. Both of us, he was the shareholder director on the board of Dena Bank when I was the nominee director from Central Government of India. So I can introduce you to him because he will have a hands-on the data.
Many such companies, yeah.
Definitely.
Right.
You should be able to help them in a remarkable way.
We'll do
I
that,
was
sir.
not knowing about your total.
You know only my Tamil literature side.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I know.
I was really.
That's the reason I
was
requested you
taken
to
by
come
surprise.
today.
Had he not called me, I wouldn't have come. I didn't know. I don't know the agenda. Anyway, thank you so much for having
We
me.
will discuss over dinner, sir.
It's an excellent topic. Thank you
sir.
very much.
Thank you
very
so
much.
Thanks, sir. Any other questions? Yeah. Can you give the mic?
Thank you, Doctor, for the invitation.
Yeah, yeah, please.
Sir, the next world, how is it going to be? Is it the generalist world or a specialist world?
Okay, you asked a very different question. Okay. See, we have in the category of man, okay, we have a system. We classify people in an organization, okay. We classify them into, the right word is generalist, specialist. Then we have something called fast track, okay. Fast track is a combination of generalist and specialist. For the benefit of all of you, specialist is somebody who is hardcore, somebody like, JV sir, is a hardcore accounts auditing person, he is not interested in learning too many other things. He will be an expert and best expert in his field. They are called specialists. Generalists are somebody who knows many things, but they may not know the depth required, but they can manage it. They can handle, they have the knack of, understanding, asking the right questions. But a combination of this becomes fast track. Let's say couple of specialist skills with good generalist skills will become fast track. So the world is going to be for fast track people. Okay. Or in a older language, if I say, the techno-commercial people will overtake the technical and commercial people. Okay. Because all your technical knowledge is waste if you cannot commercialize. And all your commercial knowledge is waste if you don't understand technology and technical side. Okay. I always say, there is no manufacturing without technology, or there is no product without technology. But manufacturing management is more than a technology. Okay, our product management is more than a technology. So this management is basically creating a balance between the technology side, the human side, and the commercial side. Ultimately, whatever you do, that has to be sold in the market, then only you will get your money. Okay. So the world is going to be for fast track people. Any company who has got less than 30 to 40% of their staff, management staff as fast track is going to be in trouble. Otherwise, most of the generalists are, actually speaking, you will have two types of generalists. One is really smart people, somebody like Pratap from Tata Motors, he was an operations man, now he's into quality. You now throw him in maintenance, he will do well. You will put him in finance, he will do well. Somebody who knows a knack of, doing it. This is one kind of, generalist. The other kind of generalist, they know what boss wants and just say yes, and they become popular. Okay. So you need to be very careful. So you need to have a good generalist with a couple of specialist skills. Only those people will be able to pull the company to a good level. So that is what is going to be the requirement. Yeah. Any other question? Yeah. Sorry. Okay. Somebody in the back side.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Samuel from Manai Missions University.
Okay.
So, as a university, what we are doing is we are encouraging students to be entrepreneurs, and so we have even set up a Ganesh Incubation Center in our campus.
Okay.
So, how can TAPAMS can help innovative students and entrepreneurs in a way to build their business? Because as I see, you work with big, large MNCs and large companies. How can you help a small entrepreneur who wants to succeed in his or idea? And
Okay.
that's my question.
Okay. First. Okay. Okay. The first answer to you is, I don't know to name the college or university. About 3 years back, I was invited to speak about what is the expectation from the industry and what is being provided by the institutions. Okay. So there are about 90 faculties were there, and that college is the best in that particular district. I don't know how to name the district also. About 45 males and 40 females were there, and out of which 60 doctorates were there, out of 85. And I was talking about Industry 4.0. Industry 4.0 was launched in 2010. This happened in 2017. And only two professors raised their hand, and both of them did not know the answer. Okay. The problem is, the first and foremost thing you need to do if you really want to create entrepreneurs, if you really want to create self-created managers, you need to work on your faculties. Most of the faculties are very, very outdated. I don't know about your college. I'm just, wherever I have seen, I'm talking about one of the best college in a district. Okay. So you need to work on, faculties. The faculties have to be updated on a constant basis. Unfortunately, engineers are the only animals. Sorry for my word. Today is International Engineers Day. I am also an engineer. He is also an engineer. Engineers are the only animals who don't, let's say, improve their knowledge or update after coming out of the college. No one will go to JB sir if JB sir says, when I did CA 20, 30 years back, whatever knowledge I have, only with knowledge I will work. I don't know what is the latest, income tax rules. I don't know what is the latest indirect tax rules. If JB sir says, no one will go to him. Am I right? Will you go to a doctor? He says, whatever I studied in MBBS, MD, only those procedures I know. And I don't know what is the latest medicines have come in. Same applies to advocate. But only engineers and managers are only those species who doesn't update at all. One of the reasons is the faculties don't update. So whatever we study in our college, 80% of them is completely outdated. We are still taught Hawthorne studies in industrial engineering, which was done some 150 years back. The latest, most is there. Many other concepts are there. So you need to use people like us to first develop your faculties. Okay. And we don't have time, otherwise we could have explained. We have actually launched an institute called Institute of Turnaround Management, focusing only on engineers and MBAs. Like we will be, enrolling them in the let's say 7th semester. By the time they complete their engineering, they would have chosen, exactly what they are going to do. Even if they want to take up a job, they would have got 3 years of experience, what they would have normally got in a job, when they are completing their degree itself. Something like that you should look at. Okay, I'm not trying to sell TAPAMS to you. Look at any company. You should look at giving the current level of knowledge to the people and see to that when they come out, when they see the world, they see what they studied, not that what their grandfather studied. Okay, so you need to work on the faculties. Then you need to choose the people. We also do a program called Unlocking Your Career Potential. It's a 2-day program for engineers at 7th semester. By end of the 2nd day, he will decide, what he is capable of and what he is not capable of. It's very important to know what you are capable of and what you are not capable of. So somebody may have the attitude only to be an employee. Somebody may have an attitude to become an employer. So you can identify that, then nurture them in that 1 year. Otherwise, all these degrees will be, waste. The employability of engineers coming out of Indian colleges is less than 14%. 2017-16 survey, only 14% of the engineers who comes out of college in India can be called as engineers. Okay. And the lowest is Tamil Nadu. The lowest is Tamil Nadu because you have so many engineering colleges, and the highest is Bihar, where they have hardly 5-6 colleges. Okay, only the cream gets admission. So you need to work on that. How to get the latest knowledge, latest technologies to be taught to, let's say, the faculties, and how that can be transferred to the students. Then you need to have a program of identifying the students' attitude and nurture them. Okay. We'll take one more question and close it.
Sir, one more question, sir.
I would like to add up to what Meghnadhan said, because this question relates more to me than because we are into manpower. I would like to give you some experiences of these manpower industry. See, today, if you see the market where people are studying engineering, diploma, anything, But are they acquiring the knowledge? No. These people, they are all called as qualified engineers. They write some about 5-10 questions, they get about 30-40 marks, they pass out, they come. But do they have acquired the knowledge? No. Because the reason for this is, as Meghna said, you don't have proper faculties. Because we don't have a proper teacher training institutes in this country. Why we don't have a proper training institutes? Because the government is not looking at training the teachers. So if you have good teachers, you have good students. Good employment. If you see, for example, I think I have some people from Vatsala here, where the headquarters is Finland. See, in that country, the highest paid staff is the teacher. Highest paid staff is a teacher. So that means if you have good teachers, you have good students and good people coming out of the college, and the quality of the entire country will go up by these teachers only. So the country needs to have proper training institutes, proper teachers to elevate the quality of the students of this country.
Just a short question.
Yeah, last question. Yeah.
What do you think, how the world is going to treat the time? Because time is value, time is money. So how is it going to impact the world in the future? Because my past generation, they treated the time in a different way. So I am treating it in a different way. And my daughters are going to treat it in a different way. So how is it going to create an impact in the next world?
Okay, this time is money is a very outdated concept. Okay. Whether, there's a joke, it's called time is money and knowledge is power. Okay. And the less knowledge you have, irrespective of the time you spend, you are paid more. That is where boss is getting paid more. If you put an equation, it will come like that. Okay. But the point is, now today if I take 1 hour to do some work, the improvement says I should do it in 55 minutes. Okay. Today technology says I should do it in 1 minute. That is what is happening. He was talking about 1 terabyte per second or something he was talking about. 5 years back, we checked, it was saying the speed is like 2 megawatt per second, or let's say 64 megapixels per second, or megabytes per second, sorry. So we are talking about 1 terabyte per second. Okay. So the time is not going to be any constraint at all. How fast you are able to adapt technology very quickly, and how fast you are able to use the technology for improving your own work is what is going to matter. A couple of weeks back, I visited my first guru's place. Mr. Balasubramaniam is here. He's going to occupy the desk next. He is 74 or 72 now. Okay. He spent 20,000 rupees and spent 4 months to learn Google Data Studio, and he does the analysis of a steel mill in Indonesia and steel mill in Nagpur, sitting in Chennai and controlling it. He has gone to the extent of saying the entire last few years in this particular mill, for this particular product, only Thursdays and in this particular time the output is not there. And he's analyzing it. If somebody can adopt the technology at the age of 72, I have not even taken birth yet. I'm too young for that. So you need to see to that right technology we identify and understand, learn, and use it for your own work. Then time is not money at all. Somebody takes 5 hours to do it, you will do it in 5 seconds. So this is what is going to be the requirement, how adaptable you are to the technology. You cannot say, no sir, it's all youngsters who can do that, I don't know. Then you are going to be outdated faster. Yeah, Dr. Sir.
We have smart TV, smart computer, smart mobile, and we talk about smart cities also. I feel the human being has to become smart. So when you say TAPAMS Global, it is, I think there's a huge, scope for you to make the CEOs and MDs smart. That means, as you said, updated or outdated. So I think you have to take that kind of an assignment immediately, simultaneously along with the faculties.
True.
So because many of the MDs have no time to look back to update themselves. They are just stuck to routine.
True, very true, sir.
They are actually concentrating on trivial matters rather than the vital matters.
Thank you, sir. Good advice. One small correction, then I'll close it. Somehow I have aversion for the word called smart, sir. Okay, I would rather say we should make better managers than smarter managers, because I tried. I have 5 dictionaries in English to Tamil, English to Hindi. English to Tamil I have 2. I tried to find a meaning for this smart in Tamil. There is no word at all for smart. If I can define smartness in Tamil, you should know how to tell a lie without the other person understanding it or finding it out. Okay. We don't need smart people, sir. We need better people. We need good human beings.
With less time, with less energy, with less money, and you get more.
So let's say effective managers.
More output.
Effective people.
That is called smartness. So you can
That
take
is
the
not smartness,
you can
sir.
take
That
the
is
example of
effectiveness,
Lord Ganesh and Lord Muruga. Lord Ganesh only took a round of their parents. Lord Muruga took the.
That's a shortcut, sir. That's a shortcut. That's a typical North Indian style. Okay. That's called smart work. But that's not an effective thing. The effective thing should affect people positively. There is no shortcut for life. I may be completely wrong. There are very smart people here. Okay. But I may be completely wrong. But only effectiveness will help in long term. There is no shortcut to life on anything, sir. I am definitely not smart. But I know I am comparatively a better human being. I can still better it. Okay. So we need to create a good, effective, better managers, better CEOs than smart CEOs. Because all smart CEOs, if you look at it, people earn millions and millions. After they leave, after 2 years, 3 years, all the accounts, the new auditors come and find out all the gochis they did. So this is what smart people are doing it. So let us create good, better, effective managers, effective CEOs. I'm not even saying efficient, effective managers. Okay.
Just to add to what he said, I think a lot of these corporates today are moving away from the smart thing, like he rightly said. They're moving towards empathetic people, empathetic managers, empathetic CEOs. So you need to connect to people, right? So exactly. So human connection is what is going to drive. I think that will partially answer your question as well. It's the human connection that will drive anything else.
Okay, I think we need to close this session. We have maybe another 15-20 minutes. We have to launch 2 more initiatives. Bear with us till 8 o'clock, then we can go for it. Is it okay? Okay. Thank you. Back to MOC.